The waiting is finally over. This Saturday, Brentford v Tottenham Hotspur at the Gtech Community Stadium, 5:30 kick off. The Premier League is back, baby. It's back. Baiting the press football will begin. But who breaks into De Zerbi's starting 11? That is the big question. But also, I think there's somebody in the squad who potentially could find themselves in the squad. A surprising inclusion. I'll be going through the starting 11, previous results, and who could be the surprise inclusion. So, before we break down the starting 11 at Brentford, let's have a quick word from our sponsor.
Make sure you like and subscribe.
Yes, people, welcome back to the Tottenham Lens. Hope you are all well and blessed this fine day. The Premier League season is back. We are back, baby. We are back. So, we've got Brentford at the Gtech Community Stadium, 5:30 kickoff on Sky Sports. Bit of a shameless plug. But 5:30 kickoff at the Gtech Stadium. Definitely will be watching that game. There's a few things that I want to focus on. Is, firstly, all summer we've been talking about preseason games, what De Zerbi's trying to implement, and, how things are going to look going forward. But now we're in a great situation where I get to discuss what I think the starting 11 is going to be, what our previous record at the Gtech Stadium's been like, and could we be in for a surprise player being in the squad, as well as what the starting 11 could be. So let's start with something that I've actually found quite interesting. And that starts with, our recent record away at Brentford. So if we look at the 21-22 season, we drew 0-0 to Brentford. 22-23 season, we drew 2-2 to Brentford. 23-24 season, drew 2-2 to Brentford. 24-25 season, we beat Brentford 2-0. And the 25-26 season, we drew 0-0. I actually was at that 0-0 game, and it was not a great atmosphere being at that game. But that shows us we've only beaten Brentford once in the last 5 fixtures at the Gtech Stadium. So this means that, yes, we are unbeaten in all those fixtures, but so are Brentford. And it just shows that it's going to be a tasty affair in this game on Saturday. So next, we look at the tactical battle. And this is where I'm particularly interested in seeing Tottenham. So we've already seen throughout pre-season what De Zerbi wants to do. He wants Tottenham comfortable building from the goalkeeper. Centre-backs prepared to receive under pressure. Midfielders showing for the ball. Players receiving on the half turn and ultimately trying to manipulate the opposition before playing through it. Brentford are going to give us a very different test. Then, if we think about some of the key things, the key for me isn't simply how much possession Tottenham have, it's what we do with that possession. Now, can we attract Brentford towards the ball? Can we get Tonali to receive behind the first line of pressure? So behind their strikers. Can our wide players isolate Brentford's fullbacks? And when we break that first press, can we attack quickly enough before Brentford recover? That's where I think this game could be won. So there's one area in particular that I'll be keeping a watchful eye on, and that's transitions. Because Roberto De Zerbi's football naturally asks players to take that risk in possession. You'll be inviting pressure on because you want the opposition to commit players forward. But if you lose the ball in the wrong area, and suddenly Brentford have space to attack. So when Tottenham have possession, look at what's happening behind the ball. So that's going to tell us a lot about how far this Tottenham team have come. So, my predicted Tottenham starting 11. So, in goal, we're looking at Antonin Kingsley. And Antonin Kingsley, as we all know, he's had a good sliding doors moment from Madrid till now. He definitely looks set to be our number one. He's an effective playmaker starting from the back, and Brentford will know that. They'll try to make it uncomfortable for him to play out, but it's what De Zerbi wants. He wants a goalkeeper who's comfortable with the ball at their feet. So we're starting with Antonin Kingsley in goal. I'm going for Archie at right back, as Pedro Porro has only just recently returned from his break from the World Cup. So we're looking at Archie Gray, who's gonna fill in at right back. And again, he hasn't got the pace that Pedro possesses or Jed when we have him, but he's technically very good on the ball. And he also has the ability to link up into midfield. Obviously, De Zerbi wants his fullbacks to obviously get into midfield. Jean-Paul Van Hecker and Marcus Senesi, they look like they're going to be the two centre-backs to definitely fill in centre-back. Mickey van der Ven, again, I think they've been slowly, managing his implementation back into the team. Again, he hasn't played any preseason friendlies. So, and obviously the last preseason friendly we had Marcus Senesi and Jean-Paul as the two main centre-backs. So we're going to go for them at centre-back. Then we have Andy Robertson. I think, again, with Andy Robertson, great experience. We've seen in games him set up chances for the strikers, good with the overlapping, good defensively. So that looks like the back four will be set. And again, Andy Robertson add that aggression, that skill, that experience to the back. Midfield, we're probably looking at Sandro Tonali and I think Fernandez. I think those will be our two holding midfielders. Again, both of them very technical on the ball in terms of being able to receive in the half turn, break balls through the lines. But also something that I saw in Milton Keynes Dons game, it was nice to see. There was times where Tonali effectively would have his back to play and he would receive, and Fernandez would almost play just in front of him. So that way, as soon as Tonali receives the ball back to goal, he would then set Fernandez, and Fernandez will then obviously look to switch the play to one of the wide areas, or he would ultimately, drive through. So again, I think they're going to be developing a great partnership, and I think those will be the two starting central midfielders. In terms of our number 10, I think it's going to be Conor Gallagher. We've seen Conor Gallagher, in most of our preseason games starting number 10. I think he's going to be that, but also he has that still to midfield in terms of transitions. Obviously, I think there's a lot of Tottenham fans out there, including myself, who would love to see Maddison, Xavi Simons back, Kulusevski, those real creative players. But I think I think Gallagher just adds that real still into the middle of the park. But on the wings, I think it's going to be, we're looking at Matthias Tell. He's come off the back of a very good preseason. Obviously, he scored a goal against Sydney FC, if I remember correctly, that free kick. But also his performances has just been really, really good. He's been really trying to, beat his man. He has been setting up loads of chances across the 18-yard box, and he's been linking up players and creating assists. So, he deserves this start after a very, very good preseason. On the right, I think it's going to be Mikey Moore. Mikey Moore was subject to a loan. It looked like he was going to go to FC Cologne. QPR is also interested in him. But where we do not have any wingers, we're now looking at including Mikey Moore. So I think Mikey Moore is going to stay with us until we hopefully sort that winger situation out. And if we don't sort it out, it could be a situation where Mikey Moore ends up staying. So Mikey Moore on the right-hand side. And then up top, I think it's going to be Richarlison. And a lot of us, most of us want Richarlison out of the club. This is not in a disrespectful or hateful way. But at the same time, he scored a couple of goals in pre-season. He scored quite a few goals last season. I think he was our top goal scorer. So I think he's going to start and lead the line. That will be our starting 11 prediction that I'll be going for. So Kingsley in goal, Archie at right back, Robertson at left back, Senesi and Van Hecker as the two centre backs. Two holding midfielders, we're looking at Fernandez and Tonali. On the right of the attack, we're looking at Mikey Moore. On the left, Matthias Tell. In the cam, number 10 position, we're looking at Conor Gallagher, and up top, Richarlison. So, what I want to see from Spurs on Saturday is this. There are 4 things I'll be watching out for. So, the build-up under pressure. Can we actually implement Roberto De Zerbi's football when the Premier League intensity now arrives? So I want us to be able to build up under pressure. Brentford at home, they're going to be physical, they're going to be intense. They've had a very good preseason as well. Can we match up the intensity to that Premier League intensity? Can we really build up under pressure when players are coming through the back of us, etc.? Final third quality. Can possession become chances? I've seen in so many games over preseason us control the possession, move from side to side, overlapping runs, crosses across the box, but can we create them into genuine chances that's going to put us ahead? Now, recording this video on Wednesday the 19th, I don't believe that we'll get Savinho and Gakpo over the line. But this is something that we have to make sure we're constantly doing, is making sure that we get possession and get it created into real, genuine chances so we can put games to bed. Now, another thing I'll be looking at is defensive transitions. What happens when we lose the ball? And if we're going to play this, real riskful football, playing out from the back, when we lose the ball, in the defensive third or the mid third or even from attack, how do we quickly transition to win that ball back and go again, or just settle the play? That is something I'm really going to be interested in seeing. And 4, I want to see personality. It's the opening day of the Premier League season. Away from home, it's a London derby. We've got a new manager, and I want to see the players demanding the football. Now, yes, we've come upon the back of a hard Premier League season from last season, that we've had most of our players have been in the World Cup, but I want to see our players go out and really show some real grit, some personality in that fixture, because not every game we're going to be given the chance to play the football that we want to play. Some we're just going to need that real grit, that passion. So now for the dangerous part, the score prediction. So I'm going to go 2-1 to Tottenham. I don't think the game's going to be comfortable. I think Brentford's going to want to go out there with a point to prove. Where they've got Europe from last season, if I'm correct, I do believe they are going to, really fight. I think they'll create problems, but I don't think the game's going to be comfortable. But I've seen enough during pre-season to believe Tottenham can create opportunities if they can play through Brentford's pressure. Now, on to the big surprise. Now, as we haven't got any wingers, obviously Mikey Moore probably will put himself into the squad from my prediction. I do think what we could end up seeing, Luca Williams-Barnett at least on the subs bench. I really do. I think he's definitely put himself out there and given a very good account of himself throughout pre-season. I think we're lacking on the winger front. Mikey Moore's obviously got a bit more experience playing first team football. And Luca Williams-Barnett, as he's had a good pre-season, I do believe he could be someone who comes off the bench even to get, 10, 15 minutes, maybe even 20 minutes on Saturday. He's had a very good pre-season. He scored a goal against Hoffenheim. He's just really been really exciting in terms of how he plays. I think Tottenham fans will be really excited to see him make a real debut. And this is what we want to see. We want to see players from the youth academy get into the first team. That's what football is all about. But we totally understand at the same time that not every young player who develops through a professional team's academy makes it through to the first team. But this kid has given himself a very good account of himself during preseason, especially in terms of his 1v1 ability, his creativity. He's somebody who I do believe could end up featuring. So I think we need to watch the space and see if he's included on the bench. But now I'm going to hand this one over to you guys. What would your starting 11 be against Brentford? Would Mikey Moore start? Who starts in midfield? And finally, Brentford versus Tottenham. Give me your score prediction below. I'll be going through the comments before the game and I'll also respond. If you enjoyed the preview, hit the like button, subscribe, join the Lens crew as we build towards the Premier League season kick-starting. Plenty more tactical analysis, match reactions, Tottenham discussion coming throughout this campaign. This is the Tottenham Lens. Thank you for being Anthony. See the game differently. Come on, you Spurs.